Hello, how are you, Amanda? Seint artist, you got your makeup. Now what? Well, I'm going to tell you. Here's the thing. I recommend a lot. When you send me that beautiful makeup-free picture facing a window a couple of steps back, I'm going to send you a list. It's a doozy. It's a long one. And I do it because, and I really want to be clear, I always put an asterisk next to the basics because I don't know your budget because it's not my business. I just know I love this makeup. And so I share about it. And if you want to try it, that's what we do. But I give you a full list because I'm not that person. I'm not that MLMer that's going to come and hit you up in 2 weeks like, hey, you got it. Let's add more to it. And I just keep coming back. That's not what I would like. It would be a huge turnoff. It is a huge turnoff. It's why I don't do MLMs. I don't do MLMs. I'm doing an MLM, and it's only because I really like the makeup. Before I was a Seint artist, I was already sharing how to apply Seint makeup. And before Seint makeup, I was showing how I applied traditional makeup. So this was just a good option for me. It doesn't mean it's a good option for everybody, but setting that aside, let's talk about Seint makeup. When I send you your recommendations, I do recommend you get a bronzer collection. It's because it saves you $11. You can go and get a brush that does your whole face and you get a bronzer. Everybody likes a good bronzer. There's 4 to pick from. Bella is my favorite. It's my ride or die. I can't live without it. But it saves you $11. Now you can get this brush or any brush and then down the line get this, or you can save yourself $11 and go buy yourself a coffee. So your makeup comes, you get this cute little bag. Here's what you do with this. If you decide down the road, hang on to this bag. It keeps your summer shades during the winter. It keeps your winter shades during the summer. It's also a great option if you have oily skin and you got an extra vanilla dust to keep in your purse, put it in this bag. That's what I do. All right, let's talk about the makeup. You get it, you get your tin, and the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open it and you're gonna get rid of the lid. You don't need it. They're pretty, they're hard to let go of, but you don't need them. They do not go in your palette. Here is my next tip. When you're loading your palette with your shades, you want your main highlight and your brightening highlight side by side. They just click in magnetically. Everything you need for your whole face is right here. You can have these are the basics, your main highlight, your brightening highlight, your contour, and a blush. This is Sandstone. I love it for summer because it's warm and delightful. And then I put my bronzer right here. I keep a cleaning tile. And then this right here are the shadows that I recommend to everybody. Drift, Claire, and Oak. You could tell I clearly like this one is a great option for your brows. This is just, everyone is good on its own and together they're really good. It's Neapolitan for your eyes. But this is the basic setup. This is your whole face. It's so simple. So now I'm going to show you how to put these creams on your face. So we've laid out our palette. You want these side by side. They're really close. And if you separate them on different layers or with contours and blushes in between, it can be a little hard. Your eyes play tricks on you and you can't remember which is which. So keeping them side by side, numero uno, do that. Second, get rid of the lid. You don't need it. And let's get her started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. You put them in this way. Main highlight, brightening highlight, your contour, and your blush. We're going to put them on in that order. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the short end of my blush and bronzer brush and I'm going to tap into my main highlight. Right now it is sandy because it is summer. And so I'm going to keep that winter shade of Athens or Candlelit or whichever shade of white I am at that time. It goes in this palette or this bag and it gets put away until summer again. Anyways, or winter. We know what I meant. Okay, so we're going to grab that. You don't want your bristles sticking together. The first mistake you make is wiping through, and you're going to look like a birthday cake. Everybody does it, including myself. I looked like a wedding cake because I was just all about it. And I looked like a good old wedding cake for about a week until I was really kept working with it. You have a 30-day return policy. Do not give it 3 days. Give it the time it deserves. This is a new product, and anything worth doing is worth doing well. And that means putting some time into it. I know I make it look easy, but I better it's been over 3 years. So we're going to dig in. I know it's been a bit since I've started my makeup. So here we go. All we're doing is evening out our skin tone. I've already done my color correcting. I need color correcting. There's a separate tutorial for that. But full disclosure, I do have a little bit on because I do color correct. But I'm going to add this on. This is going to even out my skin tone. The only place I think you need makeup is on the lower part of your face. You'll see other artists doing the dots and putting everything on and putting a main highlight on over here. I simply just don't think you need to. It's more product than you need, especially if you're not wanting that cakey look that maybe you've had for a while and you're not wanting to do anymore. So we're going to tap this on. And again, don't let your bristles stick together. And then we're just going to put this on the lower part of our face, evening out that uneven skin tone, because our skin, there's no way it's going to be one color all over. And if it is, I'm so happy for you. But we're just going to even this out and build. Less is more. Build where you need to. These are creams. They all work together. This is also 80% pigmentation. With 80% pigmentation, you don't need a lot of product. You've been using a traditional makeup that's 18%. So you're going to need less of this to get the same result, but better. The way Seint goes onto your skin, I don't like calling it a second skin. It does give a little life to your skin that your traditional makeup didn't. It doesn't gather, it doesn't crack, because it moves and lives with your skin. So I've put this on. I focus right up here for me because that's where I have cystic acne scarring. So it's pocky. That's what I'll call it, pocky. So I build up a little bit more on the apples, and then I bring it down, bridge it down my face right here, and then I pull it down my neck. Our skin doesn't end at our jawline, so you do want to do a nice little pull down. It's not 2001 where we just have that line. It's not. The next color we go into is right over next to it, and that is our brightening highlight. Mine is white peach. So I have sandy, and then I have white peach. It's a couple shades lighter. It's supposed to be. Your brightening highlight works as a concealer, and it should be a couple shades lighter because it's giving the illusion of reflecting light, which is giving you dimension. And so that's why we put it right between the brows here, and then I push it over the top of the brows, and then I lift it up high, and I let it fade out to the top portion of my face. And then you can take it and you can pull it down the bridge of your nose. Grab a little more, bridge of your nose. Then we're going to grab tiniest bit, tap it like you're scared, and then you're going to hit your Cupid's bow because it's a beautiful area, and then your chin. These are all places where the sun hits and comes back out. And so we're just giving the illusion of reflected light and dimension. We're not a sphere, we are a structure. All right, I'm gonna grab a little bit more. I'm gonna pinch this in, and I'm gonna grab some of that white peach brightening. I'm gonna come here on the tops of the apples, and I'm gonna bring this up to my inner corner, and then I'm gonna fan it over. No more are you smearing this. You're just gonna pop this here, and you're gonna blend it out, and you're gonna blend it up. You want very little, again, super pigmented. 80% pigmentation is nothing to mess around with. So you're gonna wanna put this on, and you're gonna wanna tap this up, and it just gives you this brightness. I mean, lightness pulls out, whereas darkness pulls in. And right here, if you have puffiness, if you have those dark trenches under your eyes, this is gonna help camouflage that. It's still there. Like, let's be clear. The texture is there. Texture is texture. It will always be there. We can give the illusion and lessen it, but we can't take texture away. Pores are pores. Puffiness is puffiness. Laugh lines are laugh lines. There's only so much. It's makeup, not magic. But we can certainly make things look better. And that's all I really want to do with my makeup. I like the look of makeup. That's who I am. That's who I'm gonna be. So we're gonna tap this again. We're gonna go into that white peach. And again, we're gonna do the same thing. I'm tapping down here, and then we're gonna bring it up to that inner corner. If you have maturing under eyes, very, very little is needed. It can very easily accentuate that puffiness. And I like using this brush as a starter brush because you got this big dog right here. And that helps blend down if you over apply. So we're just gonna tap that over. And I like to use that fluffy end to just blend it out, tap it out. If you feel like you over apply, I'm notorious for over applying right here. I just take my fluffy brush and I tap it and I blend it down. I'm gonna grab a little more, and I'm just gonna get right over here. I like to focus my under eyes on my orbital bone, and then I bring it up to my soft tissue. You want the least amount of product on the hammock of your under eyes. You've got your orbital bone, your eyeball, and then where it connects them is a hammock. And so to create a nice bright under eye without accentuating and creating more texture, that's the last place you want to put it. All right, let's get into the next color over, which is our contour. This is a shadow tone. Shadow tone is not warm. The difference between a contour and a bronzer is warmth. My contour is cooler than my bronzer, and that's the difference. We don't shadow tone with warmth. We shadow tone with a cool tone. You can use bronzer. If you're really scared of contour, definitely try bronzer. Be careful because it is warm. But I'm gonna take this big and I'm gonna pinch it again. We're gonna go in, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go here. It is I'm using olive, and olive is a very light tone. And if you're scared of contour, it's a great place to start. If you're more cool tone, go with ash. They're same level, just one's a little warmer, one's a little cooler. And so it's all about your tones, but I recommend what I think is best. And if you're scared, I'll take that into account. So we're gonna take that olive contour and I'm going to circle it on the sides, and then I bridge it together. And this is why I don't think you need that main highlight up top, because when this brightening pulls up into this contour, it creates your coverage of makeup, because everything right here is foundational coverage. So it's essentially one layer of makeup. And when you combine a lightness to a darkness, it's gonna balance out, but you still get that dimension and coverage that you want. So we're just taking that olive and we're gonna bring that out, and I pull mine in a big circle right here. Our forehead has structure because we got a skull under it, and I'm just kind of following the dimensions of my personal forehead. Then I'm gonna take that fluffy end and I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna pull it out. And that's a good looking forehead, and I didn't have to put a bunch, it's one layer and it worked together. Creams work with creams. You can't mix a powder and a foundation together and get that to mesh together. It's just not gonna happen. So we're gonna take that small end, we're gonna go back in to olive, and I am gonna go right here. This is probably where a lot of people struggle when they start getting into contouring. Now you can do this with your brush. You can also use your finger and you can run it down the sides of your nose, and it's okay if it touches. I'm gonna show you why, especially if you have a bump. I have a bump on my nose, or you have a crooked nose, that's okay. Focus your blending on the outsides first. Get that tip squared off if you wanna shorten it, which I want to, I don't want it anyway. But then bridge it together. I like to bridge it together. I'm gonna take my pinky and I'm gonna go into my brightening highlight. And then we're gonna go right up the middle here, and we're gonna create a straight line, just like that. It's that easy. Practice makes perfect. You got 30 days. Don't come at me in 3 days like this didn't work for me. Well, you did it for 3 days. You tried it once. Everything is different. This is not powder. This is not liquid. This is not your concealers. This is creams, and it's highly pigmented cream. So it's different. So put the time in. All right, we're gonna go back in on that small end. We're gonna dip into olive again, and we're gonna take this natural shadow and stay above it. If I go into it, it'll blend it and pull my cheek down, and I'm wanting to give my cheek some lift. I'm 42, and I don't need any extra help with whatever's happening to my maturing skin, because it certainly isn't like it was when I was 20 or 25 or 29, which I've been celebrating that birthday for a long time. Anyways, we're going above that natural shadow, and then we're just gonna bump it up, and you don't hang it back. If you're new to contouring, hang it back and stay way back here. Don't bring it in closer, any closer than your outer corner of your eye. Your structure doesn't go there anyways. So you're gonna stay towards the back, and I just underblend it. And I underblend it because when I add my blush and I add my my bronzer, it's gonna blend it down more. And if I blend it out now, I'm gonna blend it away later. And then you're like, I can't even see my contour. Well, you may have overblended. That may be what happened. Grabbing a little bit more, I'm gonna go in front of my earlobe and down my jaw. This is just an extra step I like, because again, I'm 42 and things just are falling. Everything's falling, if you get my draft. But everything's falling, so I'm just gonna give myself some lift right there. And then I just bring it under my chin, hide that little thing, and then I pull it down because shadows fade. Okay, next we're gonna go in to our blush. Now, what blush is completely up to you. This is personal preference. Lately, I've been loving Sandstone. It's really pretty, adds this life and warmth to my face that I really like. If you like pinks, there's lots of options. Peaches, there's lots of options. Reds, whatever, there's lots of options. And so I'm gonna grab in to Sandstone very carefully, and I'm gonna start up towards the top. Now, again, I'm 42, and so the volume of my cheeks isn't the same as it was when I was 20. You can see it when I smile, but as I mature, I'm losing the volume and I'm using that definition. So I'm gonna hang it back here. And I'm going to tap on either side of my cheekbone up top, and then I am going to slowly smile, not slowly smile, but I'm gonna smile, and I'm gonna slowly bring it down to my apples, and then I just blend it towards the bottom. So I just tap this out, I bring it up to my temple, and then again smiling, and I bring it towards the apple bottom. My apple bottom cheeks. There's a song that's similar that I'm singing in my head now. Maybe you are too. But we're just gonna add that. Isn't that just such the pretty, I know people think of this color as a fall color. It's not. It's your fall color, it's your autumn color, it's your summer color. This is my barbecue color. This is my, I'm gonna go get linoleum for my chicken house today color. But here we go. We're gonna tap that in. I'm gonna use this fluffy end. It's just gonna marry everything together really nice. I'm gonna go to my next level and I'm gonna hit up my bronzer. This is just gonna add a little bit of warmth. I'm gonna use my fluffy end. The bronzer is creamy, so be careful. We're just gonna sweep this around. I just use that fluffy end. Again, you don't want your bristles sticking together, and I'm just gonna create this touch of warmth, and I just drape it around the outer parts of my eye here, grabbing it some more, and again, going around those outer sides of my face. I'm gonna go down my neck because my neck is always lighter than my face. Now here's something to keep in mind if you're worried about going out in the sun and maybe you want sunscreen. You can absolutely use this with sunscreen as long as it's silicone free, but what's really nice, you can mix it with your sunscreen. So take that main shade and mix it up with some of your sunscreen, or put the sunscreen on and lay it on top, whatever you want, but you can. But there's titanium dioxide in this, and with that, that means you may not burn on your face. I burnt myself yesterday, and my face is still good because I was wearing my Seint makeup. So here is my makeup. I'm going to go in on the top layer here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of contour. I'm gonna go right there. I'm gonna add a soul patch, and then I'm gonna add a little Gomez Adams to my upper lip here. And I like doing this because it creates a shadow, so it looks like I have a curl to my lip. Push this out, grabbing a little bit of brightening. We're gonna add a pucker. Gonna give the illusion of a pucker here. There we go. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of bronzer. I'm gonna use my pinky. You can get another brush if you have a lip brush. And I'm gonna line my lips with it just a little bit. I mean, it's a big old fat line. It's not a thin pencil line, obviously. But I'm just putting that on the outsides of my lips. Then I'm gonna grab my sandstone and I'm gonna add a little bit of that. And I'm gonna give myself a little ombre lip color. So it's gonna be orangey in the middle and nice and warm on the outside. And I am gonna grab a little bit of, I'm gonna pinch this, I'm gonna grab a little bit of brightening, and I'm just gonna define this side and this side to make me feel better. So at this point, this is where I address if I need extra coverage anywhere. Because it has that high pigmentation, I don't cover everything at the beginning, I cover it at the end. That way I don't end up with more makeup than I need. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my Sandy, and I'm gonna try to go over that little bit right there. All right, I have oily skin, so I'm gonna use Urban Decay De-Slick. I'm gonna spray my face. I'm gonna take that fluffy brush, and I'm gonna press in that setting spray. Now, if you like a more matte finish, definitely get the Vanilla Dust setting powder. If you have oily skin, definitely get the Vanilla Dust setting powder and keep it in your purse in your little sachet. And it's great for touching up. The key to touching up is blotting your face first to get that excess oil off. And then you can take this brush and you could just go and reset everything by pressing it out. If you need to add a little more makeup, add a little more makeup, but then grab that setting powder and you just tap on the outsides and you bring it in. Otherwise it can add texture if you just pop a big old thing of powder on the middle of your face, which nobody wants. But that's it. That is your Seint makeup. You have it, now what? You lay it all out. Keep those two highlights side by side and how you lay it all out. And this is a great, beautiful, natural, easy out the door makeup. Now I talk a lot, but this is your 10-minute out the door makeup. Give it the time it deserves. Talk to me. Seriously, talk to me. I'm waiting for you to ask me questions. If you don't utilize me, then I don't know. But let's be friends, okay? Message me. We'll be friends. All right, that's it. Seint makeup. Have a great day.